So here's a clip from my last video where we're showing what's going wrong with my end link. I'm crawling under the passenger side wheel, and we can see right off the bat that that end link does not look like it's supposed to. So it is attached to the lower control arm, but it's the other end's supposed to be attached to the stabilizer bar, and it is just hanging there. So that's what we need to fix today, and I'm going to go through the step-by-step process that you need to do that. So here we are in the garage with the wheel off, just taking a better look at what the broken end link looks like. Again, this is the passenger side with the broken end link. When one of these breaks, you're definitely going to want to replace both sides, so that's what we're going to do today. This is the broken one, and then just for reference, here's is the driver's side, and this is the one that is not broken. So this is what it's supposed to look like when you're checking out your suspension. Everything's connected, nothing's moving around too much. Everything's in place, but we're going to replace it anyway since the other one is broken.
Cool.
So I ordered two new Moog end links off of rockauto.com. There are different ones for the left and the right, so make sure that you get one for the left and one for the right. I went with aftermarket instead of OEM because the OEM ones were pretty expensive, and how good can they be anyway if they broke? So I got these ones. They look a lot stronger anyway. They have some grease fittings on the ends, so that'll help to lubricate them up and make them last a little bit longer. These weren't too expensive at all. I think it was like $40 in total for both of them. So I'll put a link in the description to where I got them. So if you want to pick up a pair of these, you can do that. So the hardest part about replacing end links is getting the old ones off. They love to rust in place, especially around here in New England where we have a ton of salt on the roads. So I'm using a ton of penetrating fluid to help loosen up the rust and make it a little bit easier to take off. So the first thing you want to do is break the nut loose. And if you watch closely here, I break the nut loose, but then everything twists with it. So once you break it loose, you can spin it all you want, but it's not going to come off. So what you have to do is put a vice grips on the boot on the other side of the nut, and then you'll be able to turn it, and the nut will actually start coming off instead of just spinning in place. Alright, so mission accomplished. I got the nut off. I got everything disconnected from the stabilizer bar, so that's good to go. Now I just got to do the bottom one, same exact process, just on the bottom part of the end link. And then I got to do the other side, and then everything will be off. Alright, so I've successfully removed this entire end link. We're going to take a look. No end link in sight. We are ready to install the new one. Alright, so putting the new end links on is a lot easier than taking the old ones off. All you really do is put it in place and then hand tighten these nuts down. Once you get them hand tightened on the bottom and the top, then you can come in with the socket and torque everything down. But all in all, pretty straightforward. These end links also have a pretty cool design, so you'll be able to see it when I go to the top one, but there's a place you can put a wrench right at the bottom of the boot. So if you remember when we were taking them off, we had that problem of turning the nut and then the whole thing was turning, and we had to get a vice grips in there. Now we can just put this wrench in that little spot you can see at the bottom of the boot, and that'll prevent everything from twisting. So you'll be able to just come in with a wrench and tighten it down. So that's what I'm doing right here. I have a wrench in place in that little spot they give you to put the wrench, and then I can come in with a socket on the other side on the nut and actually tighten it down, and it's going to tighten without just twisting the whole thing, which is the problem we ran into with the original end links with the bad design. So now I have all the end links tightened down, and the last step is to grease them up, since these end links do come with grease fittings. So if you look closely, I'm just going to give it a small amount of grease, and you'll be able to see the boot expanding. And once it's expanded a little bit, like you can see now, you're good. You don't need to add any more. Alright, and we are done. Both end links are tightened down, greased up, and good to go. So this is the driver's side one. That's in place. Looking good. Now we're going to move on over to the passenger side. This was the side with the one that was broken in the first place. So this is looking a lot better. Yeah, these should be good for a while. So thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to leave a comment below with what you want to see next. I'm open to suggestions, so let me know.